Fight fans all over the world, is Daddy Pete on the corner, in the corner boxing. What? Hey, Terence Crawford, Jeff Horn, the final press conference. Hey, man, it went down, but check it. Look, I'm so ready for this fight. I don't know what to do, man. I'm so ready to see Terence Crawford and Jeff Horn in the ring. I don't know what to do. I'm dead serious, man. Listen. This press conference was it was a pretty good press conference, man. And it was pretty straightforward. And although, yeah, it was a little laughter going on, but it wasn't a circus. You know what I'm saying? Very legitimate questions asked, and they were the answers were straightforward. You know what I'm saying? On both sides. Both sides were very respectable. And you know, y'all know there's a little talking back and forth. And I'm gonna tell you this: the talking was back and forth, but it really wasn't that disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? It was straightforward, but it really wasn't like nasty, antagonizing type of back and forth. You know what I'm saying? If some of y'all remember that Terence Crawford, they had a date set for April. I think it was April the 14th originally for this fight to happen, and due to a hand injury by Terence Crawford, they rescheduled the fight. So some of y'all might remember Glenn Rushton, which is Jeff Horn's trainer. He said something to the effect that, tighten up, princess, or something like that. Toughen up, princess. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, he alluded to that in the press conference. But basically, he was explaining why. And the way he explained it was like, he was trying to let everybody know that, you know, that the comments he made was like all a part of, you know, all a part of, you know, what goes down in the fight. Because what he was saying was, okay, he said if Jeff Horn had a hand injury, then we would have expected, especially if he pulled out of the fight and wanted to reschedule because of a hand injury, he said he would have expected for Terence Crawford's side to make comments about it. And so basically what he was saying was, hey, you know, hey, that's just what it is, you know. But anyway, he kind of tried to explain it away, but at the same time without trying to retract what he said. You know what I'm saying? To me, all he did was explain it so he could feel like he was justified in saying it. Without actually apologizing. But this is the thing, man. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. But this is the thing. When you start saying stuff like, oh, yeah, toughen up, princess, all that. Man, look. Terence Crawford, and he proved this in the press conference. He is a silent killer. You know what I'm saying? And game recognized game, and street recognized street. Listen. This young man right here is all business. And he was asked some questions, and you could hear some of the people, I guess that was a part of his team or that was there with him, laughing in the audience, because to them it was hilarious, because some of these questions that was asked, he answered them so matter-of-factly that it was almost comical. But he was meaning pure business. You know what I'm saying? This man right here, man, look. He was letting everybody know that, hey, and he even said it towards the end, that one of the last things he said was, man, look, it's been a little talking back and forth, but hey, it's only a couple days away. Time for talking is basically up. He said, I'm a do my talking in the ring. And Terence Crawford, man, look, boy, he the type of dude on the street you don't want to make him mad, you know. And You could tell he mean business. And Jeff Horn, man, I'm gonna tell you this. He's a tough guy, you know, and he's very matter of fact as well. But you could tell it's just two different mannerisms from two different cultures within cultures. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I give Jeff Horn credit, man. When he fought Manny Pacquiao, I knew not much at all about him. I looked up some stuff about him because he was fighting Manny Pacquiao, and I wanted to know about him. And that's when I found out he was an Olympian. Although you know, when he started fighting, although he didn't have a lot of professional fights, he did pretty decent amateur wise. And you know, so I found out a little bit about him, but none of that stuff told me how tough he was. And I did try to go back and watch some fights, but to me, the fights that I watched was against opponents. I mean, just like Randall Bailey. Randall Bailey was a past his prime guy whose best days was well behind him. You know what I'm saying? And really, that was his claim to fame before he fought Manny Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? Nobody else you really knew their name. Now, not to say that he didn't have any other tough fights, but nobody else. Who did you know? And I'm gonna tell you this too. Jeff Horn's trainer alluded to the fact that basically he was saying like Terence Crawford ain't really fought nobody up to 19 fights like Jeff Horn. Jeff Horn has had 19 fights, 18 he won, 1 draw. And he was saying that some old crazy junkie come up with some statistics about Jeff Horn had only 19 fights, and the fighters that he fought, you know, the amount of wins they had totally was over 400 and something wins. And he say when you add up the wins of Terence Crawford's opponents up to 19 fights, it was only 100 and something. You know, some old crazy jump, man. Look, all this here is very amusing. You know, this is very amusing, but none of that stuff is gonna matter when these guys step in the ring. You know what I'm saying? None of this stuff is gonna matter. You know, not what I'm saying, not what you saying, not what they saying. Only thing gonna matter is Terence Crawford, Jeff Horn being in the ring, 2 wheels. Both of these guys have strong wheels. You know, both of these guys are tough guys. Both of these guys stepping in to win and not to lose. So all this here stuff, man, you know, is very amusing. But man, when it come down to fight night, man, and that's basically what Terence Crawford was saying. And something he said, and he kind of stared at Jeff Horn. He said he might get hurt. And I was like, okay. Man, look, Terence Crawford he mean business. But hey, Jeff Horn as well. Jeff Horn might be, you know, you could tell his upbringing, the culture he come from. Everybody, it seemed like they a little nice to each other and all that, man. But make no mistake about it, Jeff Horn is a rough customer. He ain't know what I'm saying, patty cake baker, man. You know, this young man coming there to win as well. So that's all the more reason why I believe this is gonna be, I believe this gonna be one of the best fights we've seen in a while. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I'm trying to save a little bit for the prediction, man. I don't want to say too much about what I feel about who gonna win and how and all of that, because I'm saving it for the prediction. But this press conference was, well, it was a good press conference. It wasn't too circusy, but it still was good. You know what I'm saying? It didn't turn into a circus. It was very respectable to me. It was pretty classy as well. And I'ma tell you, what let me know, man, Terence Crawford stand on this square, is that he was talking, and I don't know the guy's name. I guess he's the primary promoter for Jeff Horn. the guy that was sitting to the left of Bob Arum, to the immediate left of Bob Arum. When Terence Crawford was talking, he tried to say something. Terence Crawford said, hold on, no, I ain't interrupt you when you was talking, I'm still talking. And this the thing, Terence Crawford did not raise his voice one iota. He just said it very matter-of-factly. And this is the thing, the guy ain't say nothing else. This lets you know the type of person that their demeanor demands respect. You know what I'm saying? His persona, his presence is felt in the room. He don't even got to raise his voice. Now, that's why I say game recognize game and street recognize street. Man, when you be on the street, sometimes you hear certain guys with that rah-rah, with that whole lot of talking, being loud, trying to be heard and seen. But when you see a person that's not very loud, but when they say something, people listen and they take heed, that lets you know that you have a person that their very presence demand respect. And you know, that's what I saw in Terence Crawford, and that, you know, and like I say, all this stuff is amusing. It don't mean nothing as far as when they get in the ring to fight. But I'm just telling you, man to man, you know, game recognize game, street recognize street. This young man is not nobody to be taken lightly or to play with. Terence Crawford is most definitely a silent killer. I'm gonna tell you this right here. I think boxing probably saved his life, man. You know what I'm saying? Because he started boxing at a young age. But this is the thing, if he wasn't boxing, if he didn't have something to keep his mind occupied and on something, you know, he the type of guy, he probably would have been lost to the street. You know, either dead, in prison for the rest of his life, or stuck in the street. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, because that guy right there, man, you could tell, you know, he cut from a cloth that's a little bit different than a lot, you know. And I'm not saying, I'm talking about even than a lot of boxers, you know what I'm saying? And even a lot of guys that's in the street, because every guy that's in the street ain't everything that they portray themselves to be. You know what I'm saying? But Terence Crawford, man, he's cut from a cloth. Like I say, boxing probably saved his life. You know what I'm saying? And y'all know the story. He's had some, you know, he still, even though he was boxing, man, you know, he had him some little, you know, he got a story from the street. And but you know, hey, by the grace of God, the young man is here. He making him some money. You know, he doing his thing, taking care of his family, you know. And you know, kudos to the young man, you know. And kudos to Jeff Horn too, man, the fighting school teacher. You know, I was reading an article about Jeff Horn. They were saying how sometimes his students, you know, when they hear exactly what he do outside of, you know, being a teacher, you know, they like shocked. I guess because he's such a nice guy or whatever, and he, you know, how he portrays himself when he's in a educational setting, you know, they kind of shocked, like, oh man. But I'm gonna tell you this, he shocked me when he fought Manny Pacquiao. Man, that young man came in there, man, and look, this is the thing. That's what they were saying, like the headbutts, the elbows. This guy coming there to win. He coming there with a mentality like, hey, I'm taking this. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he did to Manny Pacquiao. And although, like I said many times before, it was a very close fight. I had it scored for Pacquiao. But, you know, you go back and look at the fight and you say, man, look, I might not agree with how they scored the fight, but I can see, you know, how people could have possibly said, okay, I'm gonna give this round to Jeff Horn, or this round could have went either way. Statistically, Manny Pacquiao landed more, but this is the thing about landing more. You can land 1,000 punches in round 5, if you only land 20 in round 6 and 5 in round 7, you know what I'm saying? You know, you can lose those rounds. So, you know, but at the same time, I scored the fight for Manny Pacquiao, but Jeff Horn pulled out the win because of his tenacity, you know what I'm saying? Because of his, probably because of how he comes forward and dictated the pace, you know what I'm saying? And this is something that I believe Terence Crawford and his team is ready for, and I guarantee you that Bomac have studied some tape and has looked to find, you know, what to do to counter that, you know. Same thing on the other end, Glenn Rushton, you know, and something I heard him say talking to, I want to say it was Fight Hub. I think it was Fight Hub. He was doing an interview, and he was saying how, you know, how Terence Crawford, he gave him credit. He said, yes, he is a very talented guy that can do a lot of different things in the ring. And he was saying that, but what you do when you have a guy who basically has an all-around game, you know, nobody's perfect, and you have to just exploit those weaknesses. You know what I'm saying? And say, okay, we know his strengths, but let's look for where he's not as, in areas where he is not as strong, and use our fighter's strength to overcome those weaknesses. And I understand what he was saying. He basically was trying to dance around the fact that he had a game plan and didn't want to spill the beans on it. You know what I'm saying? And but all of this, man, look, to me, all of this stuff, all it do for me is make me want to watch the fight even more. And it ain't take much for me to be excited about this fight. I'm excited about this fight because I am a Terence Crawford fan. I've been following him now for a while, and it is exciting for me to see this young man blossom and go up in weight. All that he's accomplished since I've been following him, man, is very amazing. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, you know, it's a letdown, of course, in any sport when you have a certain team or a certain entity that you have followed, and then to get let down when they lose in big championship moments. But this young man has produced over and over and over again, you know. And this is what makes me excited about watching Terence Crawford come up in weight. And like I've expressed before, I really wish he would have took at least one acclamation fight. One fight to where he fought maybe a top 10 guy instead of going for the WBO, straight for the WBO. Just fighting the top 10 guy in the WBO. Somebody between 5 and 10 at least. You know what I'm saying? I really would have liked to see that before I see him go straight for a title. But there again, it makes me all the more excited. You know what I'm saying? Because this young man is cut from a different cloth. And I said this before, just like Errol Spence. Errol Spence, man, I can't even remember when this guy was not calling out upper echelon fighters in the welterweight division. You know what I'm saying? And when he finally got his opportunity, he seized it. He went over across the pond to take the IBF welterweight championship belt from Kell Brook and just snatched it out his backyard. And you know, when you see fighters like this, man, it lets you know that we're in a golden age in boxing. You know what I'm saying? Boxing fans all over the world, man, cherish this time we have, because we are in a phenomenal time in boxing history right now. And I said this before. I did a video. If y'all would go back and watch it. It's entitled Four Kings versus Today's Welterweights, talking about Hagler, Hearn, Leonard, and Duran. How they all mixed it up. They all fought each other. They were not scared to lose. They wanted to be known as the best boxers. And back in those times, you could not get big money fights without fighting the best. You know what I'm saying? So in order to make that money, they had to get in the ring with the best. But it became a thing of bravado, not just about the money, but make no mistake about it, it's prize fight. And yes, they want the money. But what I'm saying is it became also about them being the best around. You know, and that's that era, that Muhammad Ali era. Those guys were very proud fighters. And, you know, it wasn't like, and the promoters knew that in order to make the big money, they had to put the best against the best. But man, all these 4 guys, all of them fought each other. You know what I'm saying? At some time in their career. You know, Hagler and Hearn. You know what I'm saying? Hearn and Duran. Hagler and Duran. You know what I'm saying? Leonard and Hagler. You know what I'm saying? Leonard and Hearns. You know what I'm saying? Leonard and Duran. All of these guys fought each other. Now, can you imagine what would happen with all of these stars we have right now? I mean, if you just look at the welterweight division, if all of these guys mixed it up and fought each other, what we would have. But you know, it's a lot more politics. It's a lot more money on the line. And a lot of these guys, man, I'm not saying they scared. I hate to call boxers scared, but I feel like sometimes they are a little bit timid about, you know, what people would think about them if they lost to certain fighters. But really, man, look, people have nothing but respect for the 4 kings, and they have immortalized themselves in history. You know what I'm saying? They have transcended the sport of boxing because of this. You know what I'm saying? People who aren't even boxing fans know who Hagler and Hearns, you know what I'm saying? Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran. They know these names, and you don't even have to be a starch boxing fan. You know what I'm saying? It's just what, you know, but we are in an era right now of boxing where we have so much talent. You know what I'm saying? We have a talent-rich pool of boxers. If these welterweights, I can just name a few. Now we got Keith Thurman back in the mix. You got Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, you know, and not to mention now, hey, you got Terence Crawford, who is up and coming and new to the division. I mean, Jeff Horn, I think will match up well with any of these other guys I named. Errol Spence Jr. Man, look, we have a talent-rich pool of boxing, and if these guys would mix it up, man, we would see, really, I'm telling you. But, you know, because of the politics of the sport, because we have HBO and Showtime, because we have, you know, all these other hurdles to cross, it's a shame to say that I don't think some of these fights will be made. But because this fight is happening, you know, we do have hope, man. We have a guy who was undisputed champion, who is a pound for pound upper echelon guy, you know, arguably 1 or 2 on that pound for pound list of active boxers. You know, is fighting for a championship in his first fight to a new weight class. You know, Jeff Horn, Terence Crawford, to me is just as big a fight as any. You know what I'm saying? To be made right now. And I said this before. Hey, I believe, like I say, a lot of people overlook Horn. I'm not one of them. But I believe Jeff Horn will match up well with any of those welterweight guys right now. I think Jeff Horn will match up well with Sean Porter. I don't know if he'll win. I'm just saying I think it'll be a good matchup. You know? And some of these fights he might be able to win. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. You know, but I'm very excited about this fight, man. But tomorrow is the weigh-in, and hey, that way we know we got us a fight. I'm gonna hit you with another video, and I got to tell you, I told you I would go hit you every day with a video about Terence Crawford and Jeff Horn, because that's how excited I am. And plus, you know, to help kind of promote the fight, keep the fight in the minds of the people. So before I leave, I got to tell you how you can access this fight. You access the fight from the ESPN Plus app. That's how you do it. You download the ESPN Plus app. It's $4.99 per month. But if you go ahead and access it, download it, you can opt for the 7-day free trial. You know what I'm saying? So if you would, man, y'all go ahead and do that thing, man. And hey, I can't wait. I'll see y'all on the other side. This Daddy P on the corner, in the corner boxing. I'm out of there. Say, it's Daddy P on the corner, in the corner boxing. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so you can be notified every time it's going down. Daddy P out of there.